Hey, what's going on, everybody? Y'all know who it is. It's JJ. You know, we back at it like an addict, no rehab, because you know I'm addicted to giving you guys this advice. So it's Thursday, and my guy wanted me to do how to get your dealer's license in New York. So, you know, if y'all can tell by the title, you know, it's how to get your dealer's license in New York, part one. I don't know if it's actually going to need a part two. If I find any dealers if I find any body that owns a dealership in New York that I can get in contact with, then I'll make a part two. If I'm not, then I'll just, you know, I'll do my best to still look for one. So we're gonna jump right into it. And I also downloaded the dealer application. So if you're having a hard time finding the application, just message me. It's in my email, so I can email it to you, so you can have it. So, but let's get into it. Alrighty, so let's get into it. So first things you'll have to fill out the application. Then you'll need a copy of the original signed and surety bond. So if you want to know how to get a surety bond, go back into my video, just type on my channel, JJ's Cars and Advice surety bond, and then I'll show you. It'll show like where I went to get my surety bond, and you can get your surety bond from the same place. Just call them, and they work with every state, so they know how to get you your surety bond in each state. And then also you'll need a vehicle and traffic laws section 415 6-B. You from New York, so I'm pretty sure you know what that is. With power of attorney and papers made out to you, but that's what you need vehicles. But this is all I have this, and you'll have to have proof of the permission that you're able to do business at their property. So like if you're leasing or the owner, whatever you're at the property, you're gonna need a statement showing that you have property. You have the ability to sell cars from that location. You'll need your sales tax ID, which you'll get when you with your LLC, proof of compensation. But that's only if you have some workers. If you don't have any workers, then you don't need it. You'll need a receipt to purchase your dealers. You'll need a receipt for your purchase of your dealer starter kit. So you have to purchase a dealer starter kit and the dealer sign. So all required fees. Okay, let me get this to. And the fee for the application is $450. But if you do not get approved, they will refund you the $450. That's better than some other places. Some other places don't even refund you that money. You know, like once you get that money, they give you that money. But you'll at least get your application fee. You ain't gonna get your rent or anything like that. So you might want to make sure you have everything enrolled before you even think about it. Like, don't go out there and get a property or anything like that. You want to look at this application over and over and over, or you're gonna end up like most people. You know, you're gonna be spending 2 or 3 months, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and like the used car commission, they're so busy. A lot of times they act like they're busy, but I don't really be thinking they're that busy. But they're pretty busy, you know, keeping up with all the other dealers. So your paperwork and you becoming a new dealership, your paperwork might not even be done, or it might just be missing one simple thing, and they just haven't called you. So you might have to call them and check with them. So you want to make sure all this stuff is in a row when you're about to turn in your application. You know, you can either mail it or you can send it in. So you want to make sure all of this paperwork is in order. Like when you sign it, like because you don't want to be paying extra months of rent because that it really hurts. You know, it really hurts. You know, that's kind of what I didn't know at first. You know, I went and signed the lease, and I'm like, all right, cool. This is gonna be an easy process. You know, 1 month go by, didn't happen. 2 months go by, like, dang, I still ain't open. 3 months go by, you know, 3 months and a half, like before I even got to really open. You know, really maybe even longer than that. Yeah, I think it was longer than that. Really, honestly, it was longer than that because I just was putting everything in order, and then I did realize some of this stuff took longer to get, like a sign and stuff like that. All that stuff took longer really to get. But you also need a filing receipt found at the New York State Department of your state website when you get your LLC. So you just make sure you keep that receipt. Certificate of authority. If you do not have your certificate of authority, do not even submit an application with the DMV yet. So if you don't even have that, you don't even need to submit an application yet. So you have a proof of business. If you do not have proof of business, do not send your application. So if you don't have your LLC, don't even submit your application. Like they saying, if you don't have proof of workers' compensation insurance, don't submit your application. But if you're the only worker, then you don't need to worry about it. And on your surety bond, so this is what the type of surety bond here in Oklahoma is 25,000. But here and there in New York, if you plan on selling 50 cars or fewer, your bond is only 20,000. If you plan on selling more than 50 cars, your bond, you need $100,000 bond. Not in just because it says 20,000, 100,000, 50,000. That's not what the bond is going to cost. The bond is going to cost you about 5, maybe 10%, or it just depends. It really just depends on how your credit is. $100,000 bond, it might get a little pricey. You might be looking at about 1,000. A little bit more. 20,000, you might be looking at a few hundred. So it's really just all depends. If you're a franchise dealership selling cars, SUVs, but I know most of you behind it just looking at used vehicles. So, but if you're a franchise dealership, the bond, you'll need a $50,000 bond, and you need to submit your application, submit a hard copy of the associated documents and fees to the address: New York's DMV, Bureau of Consumer and Facility Service, Apartment Unit, P.O. Box 2700, Albany, New York 1220. On-site application. When the automotive facility inspector arrives to inspect your facility, they will be checking that you have the following. They'll be checking to make sure you have your starter kit, you have your sign permanently mounted to visible from the street, and proof of identification for everyone named on the application. So if it's just you only need your license. But if it's everybody on the application, they're gonna need proof of all that. So that's kind of quick. That's kind of a little easy inspection, really. Just making sure you got your starter kit and the mounted sign. That's easy. That's easy. In addition to the supplies listed above, they will examine your sign, a clear and permanent physically. So no, it's something else. Examine your location for the characteristics, a clear and permanently physical barrier from other business that may share your location. So if you're sharing your location, make sure you have a barrier or something that basically blocks your dealership from the next. Just some type of barrier. You need a display lot, a mailbox at the address, a method for locking security items. So get you go on Amazon, get you a little lockbox for your keys, and lock and file cabinet, lockbox, lock safe. Get all that stuff. It's cheap. You need heat, electricity, desk and chairs, a business phone, but you can't have your cell phone. So a cell phone, if you're using your cell phone as business, as long as you got your cell phone on, it'll work. So you're gonna need your heat, electricity, desk, and chairs. So that's just standard stuff that you should have open. And then for your sign, so DMV does not provide official dealer signs. So they don't provide the dealer sign. So you have to go out there and get it from the various sign shops. So your sign needs the red background with white lettering. So it has to be a red background with white lettering to measure at least 3 feet wide and 2 foot tall. Display registered facility number, state of New York, motor vehicle dealer, and 2 inches block lettering as configured with the example shown at the footnote. So once you call around to these sign shops, they're gonna know exactly what you need to become a dealer in the state, because I'm pretty sure they've probably done signs for everybody. So, and the starter kit, the starter kit component is the book of registry, police books, bill of sales, odometer statements, warranty forms. So it's basically just like the little standard little forms. And that's really about it. So the main thing probably gonna be is making sure you have your starter kit, getting your bond, making sure wherever you plan on selling the cars from, because they don't really give that much information on where you need, I don't know if you can just sell cars at any location or what's the location requirements. You might have to just call down to the state, what is that place called? County assessory. You might need to just call down to your county assessory and just speak to the zoning and just see like what's the requirements for it a lot, because I'm not seeing those requirements. That's kind of like the one thing I'm not seeing. But when you get your lot, make sure your property is very, you're blocked off from your neighbor. Make sure you have your bond, your starter kit. Make sure you have all this stuff in order. You have your so depending on how much your rent is, I know New York is probably expensive. It's I don't know what. So, I don't know how expensive New York is and how cheap you can find a lot or something like that. But I don't. Let me. Download this other form too. Dealer transport requirements. So I got the requirements too as well. So let me download that. So if you guys need this stuff, so if you need it, just message me and I'll email it to me. I'll send you the email. But this is the end of this video. So basically, I just went over the little stuff. But if you need any of this stuff, like I said, just message me on either Facebook or Instagram. Probably Instagram would be easier. Probably Facebook, either one would be easier to get in contact with me. And then I'll email it over there to you. So that's just the end of that. And if it's part 2, hopefully I can find somebody or somebody that watches my video as a dealer in New York that can tell me, hopefully somebody's a dealer in New York that's following me. They can tell me like if I ever said anything correctly, if I didn't, if it's anything additional that you guys can comment, and if I can get you guys on for like part 2 so you guys can break it down in simpler forms than I did on how to get started and where they should look to get started. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is part 1 on how to get your dealer's license in New York. I'm out. Peace.